When humanity first shattered the light barrier, the world erupted in celebration. It was a moment that transcended borders, languages, and cultures, a testament to the sheer ingenuity and persistence of the human spirit. For centuries, the idea of faster-than-light travel had been relegated to the realm of science fiction, a distant dream whispered in novels and theorized in academic journals. But now it was real. A small three-person vessel, equipped with cutting-edge technology, bent the very fabric of spacetime, turning light years into mere light days. People of all ages and walks of life were captivated by the possibilities this breakthrough presented. They envisioned a future where the galaxy was no longer a distant, unreachable expanse, but a playground for discovery and adventure. Dreams of witnessing the luminous birth of stars, navigating the swirling chaos of nebulae, and uncovering the secrets hidden in the dark voids of space filled their minds. It was an era defined by boundless curiosity and hope. Yet, not everyone shared in the euphoria. Voices of dissent rose amidst the jubilation. Critics questioned the priorities of humanity, arguing that the vast sum spent on developing this technology could have been better allocated to addressing pressing issues on Earth: homelessness, hunger, and poverty. Others lamented that such a monumental achievement had been driven by private corporations rather than a unified global effort. To them, the absence of governmental collaboration represented a missed opportunity for humanity to unite under a common cause. And, of course, there were the skeptics. In an age where misinformation could spread like wildfire, some dismissed the entire event as an elaborate hoax, a product of advanced CGI and a global conspiracy. Even in the face of overwhelming evidence, they clung to their doubts, their voices a stark reminder of humanity's tendency to question and distrust. Despite these divisions, the successful breaking of the light barrier marked a pivotal moment in human history. It was a declaration that the stars were no longer out of reach, a promise that the galaxy's secrets would soon be within humanity's grasp. For better or worse, the journey had begun. When humanity established its first colony beyond the solar system, the world once again erupted in celebration. A new world, untouched by the scars of Earth's ecological and industrial catastrophes, was a symbol of hope, a sanctuary for the future of humankind. This pristine planet represented a blank slate, free from the weight of history and the divisions that had plagued Earth for millennia. For many, it was the embodiment of limitless potential, a chance to build a society founded on unity, progress, and the lessons learned from centuries of mistakes. The images of settlers stepping onto the untouched soil of this alien world inspired billions. For those watching from Earth, it was more than a technological triumph. It was a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. Here was a place where humanity could start anew, where the mistakes of the past could be avoided, and where a brighter, more harmonious future could take root. But, as before, dissenting voices emerged. Critics pointed out the logistical challenges of populating a new world. Even with the most advanced ships, transporting significant numbers of people across light years would take centuries. Questions arose about the selection process. Who would be chosen to embark on this monumental journey? How could the criteria for selection be made fair and transparent? And, more troublingly, why did the initial wave of settlers seem to mirror the historical patterns of exclusion and bias that had long marginalized minorities? Religious opposition added to the chorus of skepticism. Some groups vehemently argued that humanity had been divinely granted dominion over Earth alone, not distant planets circling stars barely visible in the night sky. To them, this colonization effort was not a triumph but a betrayal of humanity's sacred duty to restore and cherish the world they already had. Despite these debates, the colony thrived. It became a symbol of what humanity could achieve when driven by hope and ambition. Yet, lingering beneath the surface were questions about the ethical and social complexities of humanity's expansion into the cosmos, questions that would not be easily resolved. When humanity finally encountered intelligent extraterrestrial life, the response was a mix of elation and trepidation. Confirmation that humanity was not alone in the universe electrified the imaginations of billions. Philosophical debates that had spanned millennia were suddenly thrust into the realm of reality. What did it mean to coexist with other sentient beings? How would this reshape humanity's understanding of its place in the cosmos? For many, this discovery was an opportunity, a chance to learn from civilizations that had navigated the stars long before humanity's first tentative steps into space. What marvels of art, music, and storytelling might these beings share? What philosophies and scientific insights could they offer? The possibilities seemed endless, and the prospect of cultural exchange filled people with wonder. But not all questions were so innocent. Fear and suspicion crept into the minds of many. What were these aliens' intentions? Were they benevolent explorers, or did they harbor darker motives? Could they be potential conquerors, or perhaps even predators? In the darker corners of human curiosity, bizarre and troubling questions emerged. Questions about biology, compatibility, and even domination. When humanity reached out to greet their newfound neighbors, they were determined, albeit divided in their approaches. Nations dispatched ambassadors in an attempt to establish diplomatic ties, envisioning a galaxy united by mutual respect and cooperation. Merchant fleets sought to establish trade, laden with Earth's finest goods in hopes of finding value in exchange. Scientists from every field, xenobiologists, anthropologists, and archaeologists, were eager to study and document these alien civilizations, their hearts driven by the pursuit of knowledge. Artists and poets embarked on journeys to witness alien cultures firsthand, dreaming of sharing humanity's creative spirit and learning from the artistry of the stars. Yet not all efforts were driven by altruism. Fringe militias outfitted warships, convinced that preemptive strikes were the only way to ensure humanity's safety. Evangelists, emboldened by their convictions, sought to spread their faith to these alien worlds, believing it was their duty to introduce these beings to divine salvation. And lurking in the shadows were the stealth ships, covertly dispatched by governments and corporations alike to steal technology, gather intelligence, and, if necessary, sabotage potential threats. Every effort, without exception, failed. The alien civilizations humanity encountered seemed indifferent, even bemused, by their attempts. No embassy could be established, as these beings had no governments or centralized authorities to engage with. The very concept of diplomacy was a uniquely human invention. Trade efforts were met with polite rejection. The materials humanity prized so highly were abundant on a galactic scale, and their consumer-driven economy was incomprehensible to species that manufactured only what they needed. Scientists found themselves frustrated, as no aliens showed the slightest interest in being studied or observed. And the artists, they discovered, to their dismay, that the aliens neither understood nor appreciated human notions of art, music, or storytelling. These were all human ideas, ideas that, for better or worse, seemed to hold no value beyond Earth. Even the more aggressive approaches ended in humiliation. The warships' attacks were ignored, their weapons rendered useless against alien technology that defied understanding. Missionaries, often ignored entirely, were met with brief and curt dismissals, their messages falling on deaf ears. Espionage efforts, despite their careful planning, yielded nothing. No technology was stolen, no secrets uncovered. It was as though the aliens were always several steps ahead, their understanding of humanity far exceeding anything humanity could grasp about them. When humanity returned home, battered and disheartened, they were forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. When humanity returned home to Earth, the collective mood was somber. Their great aspirations of becoming a significant part of a galactic community had crumbled under the weight of alien indifference. There was no interstellar alliance, no cultural exchange, no grand validation of their achievements. The silence from the galaxy echoed loudly, forcing humanity to reflect on its failures. The reactions on Earth were as diverse as humanity itself. Some people were heartbroken, mourning the dream of forging meaningful connections with intelligent life beyond their own. For them, the rejection was deeply personal, a shattering of the belief that humanity's ingenuity and creativity would be embraced by the universe. Others were filled with anger, their egos bruised by the apparent dismissal of humanity's accomplishments. How could the aliens fail to recognize the monumental achievement of reaching the stars, of mastering energy and technology to become a Type 2 civilization? The lack of acknowledgement felt like an insult, a refusal to validate centuries of progress. For these people, the aliens' indifference was not just disappointing, it was infuriating. Still, others responded with confusion and fear. What did this indifference mean? Was it a subtle warning to humanity to stay in its place? Were the aliens so far advanced that they simply couldn't comprehend humanity's perspective, or worse, did they see humans as irrelevant, unworthy of notice? The uncertainty gnawed at people's confidence, leaving them unsettled and questioning their place in the universe. But amidst the turmoil, a slow and profound realization began to take root. As the years passed, humanity began to piece together the truth, a truth that would ultimately unite them in a way they had never been before. The core of humanity's struggle with the aliens wasn't technology or communication. It was perspective. Humans had approached the galaxy as though they were meeting versions of themselves with different faces. They projected their own ideas of civilization, culture, and purpose onto beings that operated under entirely different frameworks of existence. It wasn't that the aliens rejected humanity out of malice or disdain. They simply did not understand or relate to the uniquely human concepts of art, diplomacy, religion, or even conflict. This realization was humbling, but it was also liberating. Humanity came to understand that its uniqueness was not a flaw but a defining characteristic. The very ideas that made them incomprehensible to the galaxy were also the ideas that defined their identity. Diplomacy, art, storytelling, faith, and even war. These were the products of humanity's endless search for meaning, a search that had driven them to achieve the impossible time and time again. And so, humanity began to reevaluate its place in the cosmos. Instead of seeking validation from the galaxy, they turned inward, focusing on refining and celebrating their own culture and identity. The lessons learned from the alien encounters sparked a wave of introspection, creativity, and collaboration. Artists, philosophers, scientists, and leaders worked together to explore what it truly meant to be human. At the same time, they didn't abandon their dreams of connecting with the galaxy. But this time, they approached the endeavor with humility and open minds. They sought to understand the aliens on their terms, setting aside their preconceptions and embracing the unknown. It was no longer about proving humanity's worth or superiority. It was about building a bridge between fundamentally different ways of existing. This shift in perspective marked a new chapter for humanity. For the first time, they were truly united, not by fear or necessity, but by a shared understanding of their place in the universe. They realized that they didn't need to measure their success by the standards of others. Their value came from their ideas, their creativity, and their resilience, the very things that made them human. And so, humanity looked to the stars once more, not with desperation or expectation, but with curiosity and hope. They knew the journey ahead would be long and uncertain, but they were ready to embrace it together. For perhaps, with enough time and patience, they could share with the galaxy their most beautiful and enduring idea, the idea of community. As humanity began to rebuild its confidence, the lessons of humility and self-awareness reshaped not only how they viewed the galaxy but also how they viewed themselves. This era of reflection ignited a renaissance of creativity and innovation. Artists and storytellers reimagined their works, focusing less on universal recognition and more on capturing the depth and complexity of the human condition. Writers penned epic tales of triumph and failure, love and loss, not for alien audiences but for generations of humans yet to come. Scientists revisited ancient questions with renewed curiosity, probing not only the cosmos, but also the intricate mysteries of life and consciousness. Cultural shifts swept through Earth and its colonies, transforming humanity's values. For the first time in centuries, the fractured global community began to knit itself back together. Old rivalries were set aside, as nations realized the futility of internal divisions in the face of the vast and silent galaxy. They turned their efforts toward cooperation, building shared systems of governance and resource management that reflected their growing unity. This newfound collaboration wasn't easy. The wounds of centuries of conflict and inequality ran deep, and uniting a species as diverse and opinionated as humanity required immense effort. There were arguments, setbacks, and moments of despair. But the dream of a unified future, a future where humanity's shared identity could flourish, drove them forward. Slowly but surely, they began to see progress. The colonies, scattered across distant stars, became symbols of this new era. They were no longer seen as isolated outposts but as integral parts of a larger human network. Communication between worlds improved dramatically, creating a flow of ideas and knowledge that strengthened the bonds between Earth and its children. The settlers, once focused solely on survival, now embraced the opportunity to contribute to humanity's broader vision. Each colony developed its unique character, shaped by the challenges and wonders of its environment. But they all shared a common purpose: to ensure humanity's legacy endured. Meanwhile, humanity's approach to the alien civilizations evolved. Instead of sending diplomats and traders laden with human expectations, they sent observers, individuals trained not to impose their views but to listen and learn. These emissaries studied the behaviors, languages, and technologies of the aliens with careful patience, documenting their findings for future generations. They approached each encounter not with the arrogance of conquest but with the humility of curiosity. It wasn't long before these efforts bore fruit. The aliens, initially distant and uninterested, began to respond in subtle ways. Small gestures, an acknowledgement here, a brief exchange there, hinted that they were starting to notice humanity's change in attitude. These interactions, though fleeting, were enough to reignite hope. Humanity realized that while they might never fully understand the aliens, the act of trying, of reaching out with genuine respect, was itself a powerful statement. As decades turned into centuries, humanity continued its journey of growth and exploration. The galaxy remained vast and enigmatic, its secrets often just out of reach. But the humans who looked to the stars now carried with them a profound sense of purpose. They were no longer driven by a need for validation or dominance. Instead, they were inspired by the simple yet profound idea that to explore was to learn, to connect, and to grow. Back on Earth, the human idea of community flourished. The concept had evolved far beyond its original definition. It was no longer limited to shared spaces or common goals. It had become a philosophy, a way of life. Humanity embraced the idea that strength came not from uniformity but from diversity, of thought, experience, and perspective. They learned to celebrate their differences, seeing them not as obstacles but as opportunities for enrichment. This idea of community became humanity's gift to the galaxy. Though their efforts to share it were met with varying degrees of success, they persisted. They understood that true connection required time, patience, and mutual respect. And so, they continued to send their emissaries and observers, their poets and scientists, their dreamers and explorers, carrying with them the essence of what it meant to be human. Perhaps, in time, the galaxy would come to understand humanity's message. Perhaps not. But for humanity, the journey itself was enough. They had found their place in the cosmos, not as conquerors or outsiders, but as participants in a grand and mysterious tapestry. They had learned to embrace the unknown, to cherish their uniqueness, and to build a future that honored both their past and their potential. As they looked to the stars, they no longer saw the silence of the galaxy as rejection. Instead, they saw it as an invitation, an endless expanse of possibility waiting to be explored, understood, and embraced. And so, with hearts full of hope and determination, humanity continued forward, united by their dreams and bound by the enduring belief that no matter how vast the universe, they could create meaning within it. Together, generations passed, and the story of humanity's transformation became legend. Children born on distant colonies grew up hearing tales of the time when humans had first reached the stars, eager but naive, believing the universe would welcome them with open arms. Those early struggles, marked by arrogance and misunderstanding, were no longer sources of shame but valuable lessons etched into the collective memory. They served as a reminder of how far humanity had come and how much further it could go. The humans of this era were no longer defined by their initial failures or their yearning for external validation. Instead, they were shaped by a quiet confidence and an unyielding resolve. They had embraced their uniqueness and found strength in their diversity. Across the countless colonies and stations that now dotted the galaxy, humans thrived, not because they had been accepted by alien civilizations, but because they had accepted themselves. This era saw remarkable advancements, not only in technology but also in philosophy and social organization. The human colonies became living experiments in adaptation and innovation, each one finding its own balance between independence and interdependence. Some thrived on technological ingenuity, pioneering new methods of harnessing energy and terraforming worlds. Others turned inward, cultivating rich cultural traditions and philosophies that resonated with the human spirit. These colonies became beacons of creativity, resilience, and hope, united by a shared purpose yet unique in their identities. Earth, though still revered as the cradle of humanity, was no longer the sole center of civilization. Its role had evolved into that of a cultural and historical hub, a place where the past and future met. People from across the colonies traveled there, not only to reconnect with their roots but to contribute to the ongoing narrative of what it meant to be human. Earth's museums, libraries, and universities became repositories of collective wisdom, preserving humanity's triumphs and mistakes for generations yet to come. Meanwhile, humanity's interactions with alien species, though still limited, began to take on new dimensions. Over time, certain patterns emerged, small but meaningful ways in which the aliens seemed to engage with human efforts. A gesture that was once dismissed as indifference now appeared to hold subtle nuances, clues to an alien perspective vastly different from humanity's own. The observers and researchers tasked with decoding these interactions approached their work with patience and humility, recognizing that true understanding might take centuries or longer. As these fragments of communication accumulated, they painted a picture that was both humbling and inspiring. The aliens, it seemed, had no need for the constructs that humans had built their civilizations upon. They existed in ways that defied human comprehension, their societies woven from threads of logic, instinct, or purpose that humanity could only begin to grasp. Yet, there was a growing sense that they were not entirely uninterested in humanity. Perhaps, in their own way, they were observing, learning, and even pondering the peculiar species that had emerged from the blue planet so many light-years away. The stories of these tentative connections became the seeds of new myths and philosophies. They inspired humanity to dream not of assimilation into a galactic community but of coexistence, an understanding that diversity, even at the cosmic scale, was not a barrier but an opportunity. Artists, writers, and philosophers envisioned worlds where humanity's ideas, however alien they might seem to others, could coexist with those of beings who saw existence through entirely different lenses. These visions sparked hope, not just for the present but for the distant future. Back in the heart of the colonies, humanity's concept of community evolved yet again. It was no longer limited to human bonds or shared goals. Instead, it became an ideal, a way of thinking that could extend beyond humanity to embrace the universe itself. This new form of community was not about imposing human values on others, but about creating space for dialogue, mutual respect, and growth. It was a philosophy rooted in the recognition that understanding required effort and connection required patience. This idea began to resonate deeply within human culture. It shaped education, where children were taught not only the sciences and arts, but also the value of empathy and perspective. It influenced governance, as leaders prioritized collaboration and long-term vision over short-term gains. It even guided exploration, as humanity ventured further into the galaxy not as conquerors or settlers but as seekers of knowledge and connection. And so, humanity's journey continued, stretching into the uncharted depths of the cosmos. Each step forward brought new challenges and new discoveries, but it was no longer a lonely journey. Humanity had found its place, not as the rulers of the galaxy or its outcasts, but as participants in a vast, interconnected tapestry of existence. The silence of the stars, once deafening, now felt alive with possibility. In the end, humanity realized that the universe's greatest gift was not its secrets or its treasures, but the journey itself, the opportunity to explore, to grow, and to create meaning in the infinite expanse of the unknown. They were dreamers and builders, storytellers and seekers, bound together by a shared belief in the power of curiosity and the unyielding hope that, one day, their ideas might find resonance among the stars. For now, that hope was enough. Centuries turned into millennia, and humanity's journey through the stars became an unbroken thread woven into the fabric of its existence. What had once been a fractured species, defined by its divisions and conflicts, was now a unified collective, guided by a shared understanding of its place in the universe. The galaxy remained vast and enigmatic, and though humanity had only begun to scratch the surface of its mysteries, their perspective had shifted. They no longer sought to conquer or comprehend it in its entirety. They sought to coexist with it, to find meaning in its boundless expanse. Over time, humanity's colonies grew into sprawling civilizations, each one a testament to the adaptability and resilience of their species. On planets with sapphire skies and twin suns, humans learned to harmonize with alien ecosystems, creating cities that blended seamlessly with their surroundings. On moons bathed in perpetual twilight, they constructed habitats that celebrated both functionality and beauty, places where life could thrive against all odds. Even in the void of space, massive orbital habitats spun slowly, housing millions in self-contained worlds that were as vibrant and dynamic as Earth itself. These civilizations were connected not only by trade and communication but by a deeper bond, a shared commitment to the ideals that had emerged during humanity's long journey. Across the stars, people celebrated their diversity, seeing it not as a source of division but as a wellspring of creativity and strength. They had learned that their differences, whether cultural, philosophical, or even biological, were not obstacles but opportunities to learn from one another. And yet, despite their unity, humanity's curiosity remained insatiable. The galaxy, with its billions of stars and uncountable worlds, was an endless source of wonder. Every new discovery, an ancient ruin on a desolate moon, a species of bioluminescent creatures drifting through the void, a nebula that shimmered with colors beyond human comprehension, was a reminder of how little they truly knew. Each mystery deepened their sense of awe, driving them to explore further and dream bigger. The alien civilizations, too, remained an enduring enigma. While direct contact was still rare, subtle interactions became more frequent. A faint transmission here, an intricate pattern of light there. These fleeting moments hinted at a form of communication that humanity was only beginning to understand. Over generations, humanity's linguists, scientists, and philosophers worked tirelessly to decode these messages, piecing together fragments of meaning. Though progress was slow, each breakthrough was celebrated as a step toward bridging the immense gulf between species. One such breakthrough came when a team of researchers on a distant colony intercepted a sequence of symbols transmitted from a nearby star system. At first glance, the symbols seemed random, a chaotic jumble with no discernible pattern. But as the researchers delved deeper, they began to notice something extraordinary. The symbols mirrored certain mathematical concepts that were fundamental to human understanding: geometry, prime numbers, and the golden ratio. It was as if the aliens were reaching out, using the universal language of mathematics to establish a connection. This discovery sparked a wave of excitement across humanity's civilizations. If the aliens were attempting to communicate, even in such a subtle way, it was a profound moment, proof that humanity's efforts to understand and coexist were not in vain. Scientists, artists, and thinkers from across the colonies joined forces, working together to craft a response that would honor the complexity and beauty of the aliens' message. Their reply was not a simple transmission but a tapestry of ideas. Music composed from mathematical patterns, visual art inspired by fractals and cosmic structures, and narratives that wove together the story of humanity's journey. When the reply was sent, it was done with no expectation of acknowledgement. Humanity had learned that patience was essential, that the universe moved at its own pace. Months turned to years, then decades, but the lack of an immediate response did not dampen their spirits. Instead, it deepened their resolve, reminding them that connection, true, meaningful connection, required time, effort, and an open heart. In the meantime, humanity continued to flourish. Their advancements in technology and science reached levels once thought impossible. They developed vessels capable of traveling to the furthest reaches of the galaxy, powered by energy sources that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Medicine advanced to the point where diseases were all but eradicated, and human lifespans stretched far beyond what their ancestors could have imagined. But even as they mastered their environment, they never lost sight of the lessons they had learned. Their progress was guided by humility and a deep respect for the universe and its mysteries. And then, one day, something extraordinary happened. A faint signal was detected, a signal unlike any humanity had encountered before. It was not chaotic or disjointed but deliberate, a series of tones and pulses that carried an undeniable sense of purpose. The signal came from the same star system where the mathematical symbols had originated, and as humanity's researchers analyzed it, they realized it was a response. The message was simple yet profound, an acknowledgement of humanity's reply, a gesture of recognition and curiosity. It was the first step in a dialogue that would take generations to unfold, a bridge between two vastly different ways of existence. For humanity, it was a moment of validation, not of their achievements, but of their willingness to reach out and connect, even in the face of uncertainty. As the signal echoed across humanity's network of colonies, it brought with it a renewed sense of purpose. The journey was far from over, but this small breakthrough was a reminder that even in the vastness of the cosmos, connection was possible. Humanity had found not only its place in the universe but also its voice, a voice that, though small, could resonate across the stars. And so, they continued their journey, guided by the belief that every step forward brought them closer to understanding, to connection, and to the infinite possibilities that lay ahead. As the dialogue between humanity and the alien civilization began to unfold, it marked the start of a new era, one of cautious optimism and profound discovery. The exchanges were slow, fragmented, and often bewildering. The messages they received were as much puzzles as they were answers, filled with concepts that defied human understanding. But within each response, there was a glimmer of connection, a spark of shared curiosity that transcended the vast differences between species. Humanity approached this fragile relationship with humility, knowing how easily it could be disrupted by misunderstanding or impatience. Their replies were crafted with care, blending the precision of science with the creativity of art. They sought not to explain themselves in human terms but to explore a middle ground, a space where ideas could flow freely, unburdened by the limits of language or culture. Over generations, the exchange deepened. What began as mathematical and symbolic communications evolved into something more abstract, more profound. Humanity came to realize that the aliens were not just communicating facts or information but sharing glimpses of their existence, fragments of their perception of reality, their understanding of the universe, and their place within it. For humanity, this was transformative. Each new message challenged their assumptions and expanded their horizons. The aliens' perspectives revealed truths that humans had never considered, not only about the cosmos but about themselves. The very act of trying to understand these messages required humanity to stretch its imagination, to question its beliefs, and to embrace the unfamiliar. The exchanges inspired a golden age of creativity and collaboration across the human colonies. Artists reimagined their work, blending human traditions with the alien concepts they were beginning to grasp. Philosophers grappled with questions that transcended human experience, exploring ideas that defied logic yet held a strange and compelling beauty. Scientists pushed the boundaries of their knowledge, driven by the desire to unlock the secrets hidden within the alien messages. And through it all, humanity grew closer, not just to the aliens but to one another. The shared endeavor of understanding the unknown became a unifying force, a reminder of their common purpose. Earth and its colonies, once fragmented and divided, now stood as a testament to the power of unity and resilience. But the journey was far from over. The aliens, though enigmatic and distant, hinted at truths that humanity had yet to uncover. Their messages spoke of dimensions beyond the physical, of connections that transcended time and space. They suggested that the universe itself was alive, a vast and interconnected web of energy and consciousness. These ideas were both thrilling and humbling. They forced humanity to confront its limitations, to accept that there would always be mysteries beyond their reach. But they also filled them with hope. If the universe was truly alive, then humanity was not alone. Not just in the sense of intelligent life, but as part of something far greater, something infinite and eternal. And so, humanity continued its journey, guided by the belief that the universe was not a puzzle to be solved, but a story to be experienced. They explored the stars not to conquer or consume, but to learn, to grow, and to contribute their own voice to the cosmic symphony. Generations later, humanity looked back on its history with a sense of wonder. The struggles, the failures, and the triumphs, all were part of a greater journey. A journey that had transformed them from a fractured species on a single planet to a unified civilization spanning the stars. They had learned to embrace the unknown, to find beauty in diversity, and to create meaning in the vastness of existence. And though the universe remained a place of infinite mystery, humanity was no longer afraid. They had found their place, not as rulers or outcasts, but as participants in the grand and eternal dance of creation. As they gazed into the stars, they saw not the cold silence of the void, but the limitless potential of the future. They saw a galaxy alive with possibility, a universe filled with stories waiting to be discovered. And they knew, with unwavering certainty, that their journey was only just beginning. For humanity had discovered its greatest truth, not in the stars above but within itself. The power to dream, to connect, and to create was the gift they carried into the cosmos. And with that gift, they would continue to write their story, one step, one star, one idea at a time, for as long as the universe allowed. The end was never their destination. The journey was everything.